Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. A very warm welcome to everyone attending this virtual Sunday online class on behalf of Panchatattva Temple, Dublin Krishna Temple. Today we are going to discuss on the topic Kovidas. Kovida is the Sanskrit word that means intelligent or wise. So Kovida's reflection on COVID-19 situation, the current situation. So before we begin this discussion, let us first of all offer our respectful obeisances to the Panchatattva deities in Dublin Krishna Temple. Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhakta Rupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam. Let us offer our respectful obeisances to the most munificent incarnation, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratvishe Namaha. Let us offer our humble respectful obeisances to Lord Gauranga and Lord Nityananda. Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityanandau Sahoditau Gaudodaya Pushpavantau Chitrau Shamdau Tamonudau. And let us offer our respectful obeisances to all the Vaishnavas and all the Guru Parampara. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Nama Shreshtham Manamapi Shachiputram Atra Swarupam Rupam Tasyagrajam Urupurim Mathurim Goshtavati Radha Kundam Girivaram Maho Radhika Madhavasam Prapto Yasya Pratita Kripaya Shri Gurum Tam Natosmi Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnava Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Devam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Adadandastranam Dante Idam Yacha Punah Punah Shriman Rupa Padambhojam Dhulisyam Janma Janmani. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्र शत श्री श्रीमद हिज डिवाइन ग्रेस शिला एसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्रीला हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। वृंदावन धाम की जय, मथुरा धाम की जय, जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय, गंगा माई की जय, यमुना माई की जय, तुलसी देवी की जय, भक्ति देवी की जय, सामवेद भक्त वृंद की जय। All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। सर्वं श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु। हरे कृष्ण। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। So the title of the talk is Kovidas, or Intelligent or Wise Reflection on COVID-19. Srimad Bhagavatam uses the word Kovida at many places. Two of places we can discuss it in this discussion. In the first half, we'll discuss about these two places where the word Kovida is discussed in Srimad Bhagavatam. The wise, about wise and intelligent. And the next half of the discussion, we can try and understand how the current situation, how to reflect on the current situation, the unprecedented situation that the whole world finds itself in since probably most of this year. It's around 9 months approximately, or it's been even more if we consider some other places. So there is a verse in Srimad Bhagavatam which says that Yad Anudhyasina Yukta Karma Granti Nibandhana Chindanti Kovidastasya Kona Kuryat Katharatim. So this is a very beautiful verse. First of all, I would like to say that in this talk, there would be a lot of Sanskrit words that are being used, but it will also be explained what it means. So, so someone who is looking at this in the beginning as a kind of first hearing of something related to Krishna might find the Sanskrit words a little bit out of sync in terms of the English understanding. But if we are trying to understand the real nature of the scriptures, it is good to try and get into the real words that have been expressed. The original words, instead of saying real, the original would be the better depiction. So that particular verse is Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 2, Text 15, stated by Srila Suta Goswami. So Srila Suta Goswami is a liberated sage, and he is addressing the Shaunaka. There is another liberated sage, Shaunaka Rishi, along with his thousands of other colleagues, the sage colleagues, who are in the forest of Naimisharanya, and they are discussing about Krishna Katha. They're discussing about the topics of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. And in this particular verse, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 2, 15, it is said that Yad Anudhyasina Yukta. Anudhya Asina Yukta. So, someone who is remembering with the sword of remembrance of the Lord, one is cutting karma granthi nibandhana. So one is cutting the hard knots of material existence. Karma granthi. Chindanti kovidastasya. So that is being the kovida, the wise person, the intelligent person, is someone who is remembering. So matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha. So Krishna actually mentions in Bhagavad Gita, sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishtaha matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha. So the remembrance, smriti, jnanam, knowledge, and apohanam, forgetfulness, everything is coming directly from the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. So Krishna states in Bhagavad Gita that sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishta, that I am in the heart of all the living entities, and from me comes matta smritir jnanam apohanam cha. So from me comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. So in this verse, there is anudhya asina yukta. So that is the remembrance. Anudhya is the remembrance. Asina is the sword. So with the sword of remembrance, the reactionary activities are being cut off, the karma granthi. So we have to understand how we are doing the fruitive activities, how we get entangled in fruitive activities. And that is the primary basis of the consequent, the incessant cycle of birth and death. So this is said by Srila Shankaracharya in Bhajagovindam, Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jathare shayanam, ihasan sare bahudustare, kripaya pare pahi murare. It's a very beautiful verse said by Srila Shankaracharya, who is actually considered in terms of the proponent of impersonal philosophy. So this is another thing that we will understand in this spiritual life, that there are two philosophies, mainly two types of philosophies. One is the philosophy of impersonal. It is actually called as Mayavada as well. So because the impersonal philosophy is saying that because the material world is based on matter and material world has personalities in it, so the spiritual world should totally negate it. And the impersonal philosophy says that the spiritual world should be impersonal, because in the material world we find that the personalities are made up of matter. So in the spiritual world there should be no personality at all. So this is the impersonal philosophy. But then the biggest logical flaw, if we want to say, would be that in the impersonal philosophy, that the spiritual world should contain everything. It should contain everything that is there in material world and something even more than that. That is spiritual world. So actually in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna actually mentions that the material world is a reflection of the spiritual world. Urdhva moolam adha shakha ashwatham prahuravyayam chandamsi yasya parnani yastam veda savedavit. So Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita that the material world is a reflection of the spiritual world. How is it a reflection of the spiritual world? Where the roots are at the top and the branches are at the bottom. So if you see a real tree, the roots are at the bottom and the branches are at the top. So it's a reflection. So the material world is a reflection of the spiritual world. So what happens in the spiritual world? So spiritual world is a place where there is satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha dridhavrata namasyantascha mam bhaktya nitya yukta upasate. That is the spiritual world. The spiritual world is where nimeshardhakyo va vrajati yatra pi samaya. So that is that there always there is chanting of the holy names of the Lord. Satatam kirtayanto mam. Yatantascha dridhavrata. Namas, always there is nothing other than the conscious of the Lord in the spiritual world. So that is, so in the material world is what is happening in the material world is the consciousness is getting segregated into thousands of different attachments. Segregation. There is so the Shrotavyadini Rajendra Nrinam Santi Sahasra Saha Apashyatam Atmatattvam Graheshu Grahamedinam. This is said by Srila Shukadeva Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj. So Parikshit Maharaj has got this curse that he will be bitten by the Takshak snake within 7 days and he will die. And he is trying to understand what he should do in the last 7 days so that he uses his time in the best possible way. And then Srila Shukadeva Goswami comes because his intention was so pure in order to know what is the best activity to be done. Because pure intention, the pure devotee came in front of him, Srila Shukadeva Goswami. And Srila Shukadeva Goswami is the son of Vedavyas, and he was liberated from his birth. So, and Shuka actually also means parrot. So the Vaishnava understanding is that he is the parrot of Srimati Radharani. So he knows all the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Sri Krishna directly. So Srila Shukadeva Goswami is saying to Parikshit Maharaj that in this material world, there is this tendency to hear about thousands of different topics. Shrotavyadini Rajendra Nrinam Santi Sahasrasaha. So Sahasra is thousands of topics. Apashyatam Atmatattvam Graheshu Grahamedinam. This is the most important point here. That is, that in this material world, the beginning of spiritual life starts from the understanding of our original nature. That is the beginning of spiritual life. Until we understand who we really are. So, Jivera Swarupahaya Krishnera Nityadas. This is said in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, that the original constitutional position of all the living entities in this universe is that they are eternally servitor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. So Krishna himself says in Bhagavad Gita, Mamai Vamsho Jiva Loke Jiva Bhutas Sanatana Mana Shashtani Indriyani Prakritisthani Karshati. So Sri Krishna is saying that all the living entities in this material universe are my eternal part and parcels. So eternally, so Mamai Vamsho Jiva Sanatana. So Sanatana means eternally. Mana Shashtani Indriyani. But when we identify ourselves with our mind and the 5 senses, the mind is called the 6th sense actually, because wherever the mind is, we are there. Physically, we might be anywhere. That actually doesn't matter. Unless the mind is present, the physical presence doesn't matter. It's proven everywhere. It doesn't need any kind of spiritual understanding to know that. It is known. Anyone can know that if someone is studying something and their mind is somewhere else, they're reading something and their mind is somewhere else. So whatever is being read is not being read because the mind is not there. So it is very important. So this point, therefore, Krishna actually mentions mana eva manushyanam karanam moksha bandhanai bandhaya vishaya sangha mokshaya nirvishayam mana. So the mind itself is the cause of bondage and liberation for all the living entities. Mind itself, the mind is the sole cause. How bandhaya vishaya sangha. So it is said that when the mind is attached to the sense objects, it is in bondage. So karma granthi nibandhana. That the bondage is because the mind is attached to the sense objects. So the senses, indriyani paranyahur indriyebhya param mana yo manasastu paro buddhi yo buddhe paratastu sah. So Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita that the senses are extremely strong, absolutely, because the eye is seeing something beautiful and the mind is getting in that direction, or the tongue is tasting something nice and then the mind is going in that direction. So senses are absolutely very strong, but stronger than the senses is mind. So Krishna is saying this. How is mind stronger than the senses? Because when the mind is directed to something, the senses are automatically dragged in that direction. So Krishna actually gives an example in Bhagavad Gita about how the wind can drag away a boat in a particular direction. If there is a heavy, uncontrollable wind going in a particular direction, the boat will automatically get dragged in that direction. So similarly, whatever the mind is concentrating on, the senses will go in that direction. And when the senses are going in that direction, then the control is lost. So especially control is lost in the sense that the material, if it is material, something related to matter can never give the happiness. The happiness actually comes from spirit. It is the why matter cannot give happiness, because matter by its constitutional position is dead. Matter, for example, we take anything like even this body. The body by itself, what is the difference between a living body and a dead body? What is the difference? The body is there. The person who has died, the body is there. What is the difference? Why do we say that the person is dead? Because that living spark has gone away from the dead person, and that's why that we say that the person is dead. So this is the basic understanding of spiritual life. The understanding that all this external covering is external. It has nothing to do with us, the real us. So that verse where it is saying that tad anudhyasina yukta karma granthi nibandhana. So this remembrance, when we are remembering the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, that is like a sword which is cutting off this thinking that I am this external, I am this body, I am this mind. So it is cutting off that link. So that sword is cutting off that karma. Chindanti kovidastasya. So that is kovida. That is a real wise or intelligent person. Who is a real wise, intelligent person? Who knows that all these external things are temporary. It doesn't actually, again, this is another thing. No one needs to be a really spiritual person to understand that everything is constantly changing. The change is the only constant. There is some Greek philosopher who has said this as well. So, and no one needs to be highly spiritual being to understand this. Actually, everyone is spiritual. Like everyone is part and parcel of the Lord. It's just that the realization is different. Someone is self-realized, someone is going on the path of self-realization, and someone is a little bit more far in the path of self-realization. But at the end of the day, everyone is part and parcel of the Lord, and everyone is spirit soul. And this understanding is extremely important. So when we understand this, so Krishna actually mentions in Bhagavad Gita as well, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, na sato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate sata, ubhayor api drishtantas tva anayos tattvadarshibhi. So Krishna is saying that so whatever is real, that never changes, and whatever is changing is not enduring. So for example, like another example, Krishna very nicely gives, dehi nosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yavanam jara tatha dehantaram prapti dhiras tatrina mohyati. So because there is proprietor of the body within the body, the changes are taking place in the body. from the childhood to youth to old age, and then after old age, the next step is death. Or sometimes, unfortunately, due to different circumstances, people die before old age. But then that is the nature of the material world. The Krishna actually mentions Mamupetya Punarjanmam Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam Napnuvanti Mahatmana Samsiddhim Paramam Gata. So this material world is, Krishna gives the definition, Dukkhalayam and Ashashvatam. So it is an abode of misery, and it is temporary. So are we saying that the spirituality is totally pessimistic? No, not at all. Spirituality is not pessimistic. Spirituality is understanding that we are not this temporary, changing, external, whatever we identify ourselves with. That is, and who we are then? Who are we then? If we are not that, who are we? Then we understand Satchit. So we are. So Krishna actually mentions that we are eternal part and parcels. His eternal part and parcels. So when we are his, so who is Krishna then? So Krishna is Ishvara Parama Krishna, Sachidananda Vigraha, Anadir Radir Govinda Sarva Karana Karana. But this is that's Krishna. Aishwaryasya Samagrasya Viryasya Yashasashriya Jnana Vairagayos Chaiva Sannamiti Bhagangana. So Krishna is someone who has got all opulence, who has got all power, who has got all fame, who has got all renunciation, all knowledge, all wealth. So someone who has got everything, and we are all part and parcel of that Supreme Personality of Godhead. So Krishna is Satchidananda Vigraha. It is said that he is an embodiment of truth, eternality, and bliss. And because we are his part and parcels, we are also embodiment of truth, eternality, and bliss. That means our original nature is blissful. It's and that is the reason we search for happiness in outside. The reason there is a very beautiful metaphor that is given in the scriptures about the musk found in the deer. So musk is a fragrance that is very expensive fragrance, and it is probably the best fragrance anyone can use in terms of putting in the body. And the musk is actually found within the deer, but the deer is searching for it everywhere in the forest. Where is this wonderful fragrance coming from? It is running around everywhere and searching for it. Unfortunately, it doesn't realize that it's there within the deer itself. It's a part. It's a kind of gland that's in the deer that gives that fragrance. So it's exactly the same kind of predicament that the conditioned life of all the living entities is. The predicament is that the bliss and the happiness that we are seeking in the sense objects is actually within us. So that is Kovida. Tasyeva hetu prayateta Kovida. Na labhyate yad brahmatam upariyada. Tal labhyate dukkavad anyatah sukham kalena sarvatra gabhira ramhasa. So this is another beautiful verse in Srimad Bhagavatam that says that that's why an intelligent or wise person is always endeavoring towards that goal. What is that goal? The goal of understanding our real nature, the blissful nature, because we don't need to go anywhere external to get bliss or happiness. So we are all seeking happiness outside, but actually the happiness is there inside, within us. So this is the real understanding. So therefore that verse says that tasyaiva heto prayateta kovida. That's why everyone is doing so a real wise or intelligent person acts only for in terms of the service to the Lord. Tasyaiva heto na labhyate yad brahmatam upariyadha. So when we don't understand our original blissful nature, we are trying to get that bliss upariyadha. So we are going, so urdhvam gachanti satvastha, madhye tishtati rajasa, Jaganya guni vrittistha adho gachanti tamasa. So when that is, when we are not understanding that we are embodiment of bliss, and we are not remaining in that situation of being embodiment of bliss, then we are seeking it outside. And when we are seeking it outside, we are taking birth. Because this even in this psychology, it's very clearly evidenced in psychology about the subconscious mind. So anyone in psychology will refer to it, the subconscious mind, the conscious mind, and the subconscious mind. So the conscious mind is something that is actually, like, if you're talking or if you're hearing, or if you're doing something, we are doing it with consciousness. But the subconscious mind is actually absorbing everything. It's just a repository of everything that we have experienced, not only in this life, but if you actually believe in this philosophy of rebirth, then people will understand that it is an accumulation of the experiences that have been experienced in millions. You can't even count the lifetimes. It's not because we don't know, the conditioned living entities don't know when this situation happened, where it got bound in that condition. So since time immemorial, that's why this word is used, since time immemorial, because we cannot know the memory when this happened. So it is, so this is what happens in the conditioned world. So is there any way to get out of this? This is a question. Because as long as we are in this material world, there is janma mrityu jara vyadhi, dukkha doshanudarshana. So this is, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, that in the material world there is birth. And once there is birth, death is certain. So this is there is this verse which says that, jatasya hi dhruvam mrityu, dhruvam janma mritasya cha. So one who is born, the death is certain, and one who has died, another birth is certain. But another birth, depending on what we are doing in this life, can either be a spiritual birth, which is free from all this experiences that we are experiencing in this material world. For example, the COVID-19 now. We don't know what next kind of pandemic is going to come. No one knows. Who knew? Who knew 1 year back in November 29, 2019, that the whole of 2020 would be in this situation? So no one knew this. So except for probably some astrologers who might be very good in their astrology. So this is the situation basically. So in this material world, there is janma mrityu jara vyadhi. So there is the birth, and along with the birth of the material body comes death. And then between birth and death, there is jara and vyadhi. There is old age and disease. So this is so disease is inevitable. Now we are nearly half an hour towards this discussion now. So now I will come to what this unfortunate situation has, how it has actually. So in the spiritual context, we actually talk about 3 kinds of afflictions that the living entities have. So the first affliction is called adhyatmic, that comes from the body. So the body can have diseases. So because the body is material, and anything that is matter is so it's called shadvikar. So there are 6 kinds of changes that happens to anything that is in this material world. So it takes birth, so it grows, it stays for some time, it produces byproducts, it dwindles, and then it vanishes. So that's called the 6. So this happens to everything in this material world. So coming to the 3 afflictions that all the living entities have, the first is adhyatmic, that comes from the body. The next is adi bhautik. Adi Bhautik is coming from some other living entity, right? So if we are living, a classic example that we always give is if we are living in some tropical countries, you have mosquitoes, and then mosquito bite is something that is no one likes. So that is that is an example given of, or it could be another person as well, human being who is not being good to us, who is behaving in a bad way to us. So then that human being is giving us some mental afflictions. So that's another Adi Bhautik. And then the third is Adi Daivik. Adi Daivik is the natural calamities that happen in this material world. So natural calamity, so many natural calamities can happen: earthquake or volcano or different, the forest fire that happened in America. So many things happen. In terms of natural calamities, so one of the peculiar things about this current situation is it's a combination of all the three. Unbelievably, combination of all the three. How it is a combination of all the three? Because a person is getting this, and then how is it's spreading when people are getting in touch with each other? So that is becoming Adi Bhautik, and then the World Health Organization declared it as pandemic. So it is Adi Daivik as well. How so it's like a natural calamity in a way, which has come from something that was adhyatmic. So some one person has got it somehow, and then it became Adi Bhautik. It spread to another person, and then it spread in such a wild way that it's Adi Daivik now. It's a pandemic. So it's a classic example of how the material world is like whatever human beings have this wonderful intelligence that the Lord has endowed all the human beings with, and it is great that scientifically the world is advancing. There is nothing wrong in the scientific advancement, because with the scientific advancement we know that people are probably living more, but we don't know what we have caused as well. Like in terms of, for example, we invent this car or plane or something, and then when we do that, we at the same time we are bringing in pollution as well, the pollution in the material world. So this is the nature of this material world, that we are trying to solve one problem, and while trying to solve that problem we are creating another problem. The byproduct is a new problem gets created. So this is the nature of this material world, and therefore Krishna has very clearly described it, that this is dukkhalayam. It's an abode of misery. So this is when we are coming to that verse, tasyaiva hetu prayateta kovida na labhyate yad brahmatam upariyada tal labhyate dukkavad anyata sukham kalena sarvatra gabhira ramasa. That particular verse is saying that that's why everyone should endeavor towards the goal of understanding our original nature as part and parcel of the Lord. So tal labhyate dukkavad anyata sukham kalena sarvatra gabhira ramasa. So a real wise person, an intelligent person who is trying to understand their original nature, know that everything is, so in the karma there are different types of activities that we can get involved in. So karmano hi bodhavyam, vikarnamascha bodhavyam, akarnamascha bodhavyam, gahno hi karmana gati. So Krishna says that one needs to know what the activities are, normal activities, what the activities that we should not do, and what are the activities that does not bring any resultant reactions. So that is the most important thing, to understand the activities that will not bring resultant reactions. Yajnartha karmana anyatra lokoyam karma bandhana tadartham karma kaunteya mukta sanga samachara. So therefore Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita that all the activities have to be done for the satisfaction of the Yajna Purusha. Who is the Yajna Purusha? Krishna, Vishnu. So the Yajnartha karmana anyatra lokoyam karma bandhana. Otherwise, in this material world, there is this constant cycle of action and reaction. It will never get eradicated. So it is the nature of the material world. So I'm doing an action, knowingly or unknowingly, I'm generating a reaction to it. It's so even like if you're cleaning a place, and there are so many living entities which we don't see, small living entities which we are not seeing, and unknowingly we are killing those living entities. So knowingly or unknowingly, Srila Prabhupada actually gives this good example about this, that a fire will burn. If you know it or you don't know it, it doesn't matter. The nature of the fire is it will burn us. So if unfortunately a child who is not being supervised and there is a fire and goes and touches the fire, the child is not know that the fire is going to burn them, but it burns the person. So that is the nature of this material world, that we create reactions. Knowingly or unknowingly, we create reactions. And how can we come out of that cycle of action and reaction? Even in science, it is said every action has got an equal and opposite reaction. Again, a person need not be a really spiritually oriented person to understand that every action has got an equal and opposite reaction. So this action and reaction, the cycle of action and reaction, binds the living entity in this material world. So what is the way of getting out of this cycle of? So that's why kona koryat katharatim. Chindanti kovidas tasya kona koryat katharatim. So the way of coming out of that is katharatim. This engagement of hearing, getting attached to hearing about the Lord. That is the way of getting out of this reaction, action and reaction. When we are attached to hearing about the Lord, then in that state, so Krishna actually mentions in Bhagavad Gita that Devi Hesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya Mamevaya Prapadyante Mayam Etam Tarantite. So Krishna says that this material energy is very difficult to overcome in this material world because of this action and reaction. No, so we are doing an action and immediately we are getting a reaction. Immediately we won't get. So this is another point that I wanted to kind of talk on. So whenever an action is being performed, it has different states. So the first state is aprarabdha. So the first state is called aprarabdha. Aprarabdha state is when it is in the mind. So we want to do something. First, a thought comes in. So thought is the primary kind of way in which actions come into picture. Without thought, there cannot be no action. So the first is aprarabdha. So when it is in the aprarabdha state, it is okay. It is not going to cause any harm. But when it becomes, so then from aprarabdha state, there is kutastha. So aprarabdha phalam papam kutastha phalonmukam, kuta bija phalonmukam. So there is a very beautiful verse which says that kramenaiva praliyate Vishnu bhakti ratatmanam. So when we are engaged in Vishnu bhakti and we are taking pleasure in Vishnu bhakti, then all kinds of this chain of activities that take place is totally taken away. It gets eradicated. So there is no chain of action and reaction. So aprarabdha phalam papam kutam bijam phalonmukam. So there is aprarabdha, which is just some thought that is coming in. Then there is the kutam. So when that thought becomes a little bit solid, it becomes kutam. And when that thought actually starts an action, it becomes bijam. It's the seed. So when there is seed, what happens if the seed has got particular condition? If we put it inside the soil, and if it is given water, what would happen? Phalonmukam. It starts growing as a plant. It becomes a tree, and then it gives fruits. This is what is happening in terms of all our actions. So first, it is coming as aprarabdha. It is just like some sudden thought that is coming, and then there is kutam. So the kutam is stored up. So that thought is getting. We are giving a red carpet welcome to a particular thought, and actually, if it is a thought that is related to vikarma, then it's going to cause extremely bad reaction back to us. So, but if it is a good karma, then it is going to give good reaction. But either good or bad, the cycle of action and reaction will continue. So therefore, it is very important to understand that all these so-called happiness and so-called sorrow is not, one should not get too much bogged down by these things. By the so sukha dukkhe same kritva. So Krishna actually says in Bhagavad Gita that so one does not get too much elated when one is kind of getting something that one wants, and one doesn't get too much dejected when one is not getting what one wants. So if there is equanimity of mind, so that is the state. That is the state of the real devotee. The real devotee is equanimous in whatever circumstances. So because the real person, a real devotee, knows that it is changing. So the situation is never going to remain the same. It will be, sometimes it will be good, sometimes it will be bad. That is the nature of the material world. Dvandva. So the dvandvair vimukta sukha dukkha sanghe gachyantya mudha padam avyayam tattva. So and one of the things there is nirmana moha. That is the most important thing there. In terms of understanding that, one should not have this this pride. One should be trinadapi sunichena tarorapi sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. This is the verse that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advises, that one keep it as a garland and always wear it around one's neck. So this, where one is saying that one is lower than the blade of grass. So the understanding that the Lord is in control. So the supreme controller is the Lord. So there should be no difficulty in understanding that trinadapi sunichena, that we are that it is best to be humble. It is best to understand that everyone is part and parcel of the Lord. There is Lord everywhere. Yomam pashyati sarvatra sarvam cha mai pashyati tasya ham na pranashyami sacha me na pranashyati. So Krishna says that one who sees me everywhere and everything in me, I never forget that person, and that person never forgets me. So this is the understanding. So when that understanding is there, trinadapi sunichena tarorapi sahishnuna, and one is more forbearing than a tree. So this is the example that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives. So the tree is standing irrespective of what the climate is coming. In the sun it is getting too much of heat. In the rain it is getting too much of rain. And it is giving the fruits without expecting anything in return. So all this these are the great characteristics of a tree. It is giving shelter to the birds. Such a wonderful, so it's providing so much service. So tarorapi sahishnuna, so the forbearance like a tree. Amanina manadena. The next two words is amanina manadena. So one is not expecting any respect for oneself, but one wants to give all the respects to everyone else. So in that kirtaniya sadahari. So in that state, one can constantly chant the holy names of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. So this is Chindanti Kovidastasya, Kona Kuryat Katharatim. This is the Katharatim. So when one is chanting the holy names of the Lord, one is hearing about the Lord, and one is reading about the Lord. So all this Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnum, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. So this is the Srila Prahlad Maharaj gives these ways of engaging in devotional service of the Lord. And when one is doing that, one is slowly taking off all this. So then whatever kind of COVID or whatever things come, a person knows that this is the nature of this material world. The nature of the material world is such that there is Dukhalayam. Krishna himself has said this. So the creator of the world, the whole universe, has actually given what this material world is. Therefore, it is also called Mrityu Loka. This material world is called Mrityu Loka. So a place where death is certain. So because it's a material body, there is, as we discussed in the beginning, there is birth, and because there is birth, there is death, and between birth and death, there is old age and disease. So disease and old age. So this is the nature of this material world. And the way to come out of this is in terms of understanding that these different types of, as we discussed, aprarabdha, then kuta, bija, phalonmukha, and prarabdha. So these are the kind of 5 states in which the action becomes action and reaction comes in. So aprarabdha is something that the thoughts, thousands of thoughts that are coming in, that is aprarabdha. Then it is becoming kuta. Kuta is something that one of the thought, I'm giving a red carpet welcome to it, it becomes solidified. Then that solidified thought becomes bija. Bija is the state when I am immediately going to act on that thought. So that becomes bija. And when I keep acting on that thought, and when I give it water, when I give it all the conditions, it becomes phalonmukha. Phalonmukha means it starts growing. It starts growing into something that a tree or a bush tree, and then it starts producing the fruit. And then finally it is prarabdha. Prarabdha means what we are experiencing now. That is prarabdha. So there is a word that is used mainly in India, that when people experience something bad, they say that this is my prarabdha. It's like they say that this is like my destiny. But how was that destiny created? The destiny was created by our actions. So this is a very important thing, that the actions create reactions, and then there is a continuous chain of action and reaction, which can only be eradicated when katharatim. So when there is engagement in nivritti tarsay ropagiya manat bhavoshadad shotra vanobhiramat puman virajeta vina pashubnat. So this is there is this beautiful verse in Srimad Bhagavatam which says that bhavaushadi. So this engagement in hearing and chanting about the Lord is the actual medicine. It's a medicine to come out of this cycle of birth and death. So until and unless we don't come out of the cycle of birth and death, this experience of COVID-19 or any other pandemic or this experience of fearfulness is always going to be there. So this is what is bhayam dutiya abhineshata syat. So this fear is happening because we are thinking that all this experience is the only experience. There is no other reality. The only reality is my experience of the sense perception. The only reality is what I'm seeing in front of my eyes. So in that state, then there is bhaya. Then there is so if this body is my only reality, then if the body is dead, I am dead. So then it is bhaya. Then I am afraid. Oh, my body is my only reality, and I'm dying. That means I'm not existing anymore. But that is not the case. The reality is that the body is just like a dress. It is a dress. It gets old and then it's taken off and then new dress is worn. Vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grinanti naroparani tatha shariraya vihaya jirnani anyani samyati navani dehi. So Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita that the body is like a dress. So just like an old, when the dress gets old, we take it off and put on new dress. So similarly, the living entity, when somewhere or the other the dress gets or it need not be old. If it gets damaged, there is a new dress that is worn by the real spirit soul. And this is the understanding. When we have this understanding, then then all these situations are seen in that light. Shastra chakshusha. So this is another word that is used. So then we see everything from the eyes of the scriptures. We see the things from the eyes of the scriptures. This is so there is shastra and there is shastra. So shastra is weapon, and shastra is the scriptures that we are reading, and both are shas dhatu. So it is shas. Shas is the common there, and that is so shastra is like a physical kind of weapon that we are using. So the kshatriyas use the shastra like a sword or anything, and shastra is the internal. So internally we are trying to. So therefore that particular verse, tad anudhyasina yukta karma granthi nibandhana chindanti kovidastasya kona koryat katharatim. So this is a very beautiful verse where we are trying to understand that when we are engaging in the devotional service of the Lord, and when we are treating everything as a service to the Lord, then there is no action and reaction. Then we are not getting action and reaction to our activities. And when we are not getting action and reaction to the activities, then we are in the state where we are there is this iha yasya harer dasya karmana manasa gira nikhilasva api avasthasu jivan mukta sauchyate. So even while remaining in this material world, a person can be in the liberated state. How is that possible? When one is acting or one's natural being is in such a way that one is an eternal servant of the Lord. Iha yasya harer dasya. How? Through karmana manasa gira. Through the activities, through the mind, and through the speech. So if one is in that state, that one is always in devotion to the Lord, attached to the Lord, then nikhilasvapi avasthasu jivan mukta sauchyate. Even though one is in this material world, one is not getting associated with the ups and downs of this material world. So this is Krishna actually gives the example of how the Padma Patram Ivambasa. So just like the lotus leaf, even though it is in water, but the water doesn't touch it. So Krishna gives that example that when one is in that state of attachment to the Lord, then even while living in this material world, one is not too much thrown away by all these ups and downs, the upheavals that happen in this material world. One is in a kind of in a peaceful state of mind, understanding that the real nature of all the living entities is eternal, and they are eternally related to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So with that understanding, there is peace, there is bliss, there is this state of total tranquility amidst all turbulence, and that is the state that the books of Srila Prabhupada put one in, the state of blissfulness, total peacefulness amidst all these constant changing circumstances. So sometimes the circumstances are conducive, sometimes the circumstances are not conducive, but our response, so whatever comes to us, it is not in our hand, but how we respond to it is totally in our hands. And this is what the spirituality teaches us, that all this, it's constant change. So there is constantly, everything is constantly changing, and that understanding is extremely important in this material world. So every moment the cells are changing. Each and every moment the cell is changing, and that's why this Kaumaram, Yavanam, Jara is happening. This childhood to youth to old age. How is it happening? Because every moment, every second, there is change that is happening, and then, but that is imperceptible. That's every momentary change is imperceptible. But if we see a person after 5 or 10 years, we see that change, because it has happened over every second over the period of 5 to 10 years. And in that 10 years, when you're seeing the person, oh, you have changed so much. So we say that. So this understanding is extremely important in this material world. This understanding of the constant change, and the understanding that even though there is this constant change, we ourselves are eternally the part and parcel of the Lord. Each and every one of us is eternal part and parcel of the Lord. So with these two understanding, we can have a reflection on this situation, and we can understand that all these upheavals are part and parcel of this material world, and we can constantly chant the holy names of the Lord: Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So actually, it is said in Kali Santarana Upanishad, iti shodashaka namnam kali kalmasha nashanam nata paratarupaya sarva vedeshu drishyate. So it is said in that there's this 16 names, 32 syllables of the Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare is destroys all the actions and reactions of this material age, of this material world, especially in the age of Kali, in this present age. And it is mentioned that after going through all the Vedas, so this is Brahmaji saying that I can't find any other solution in this age of Kali except the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So thank you all very much for allowing me to do this service in terms of the discussion on the Kovedas, or the wise reflection on the current unprecedented COVID-19 circumstance. If there is any comments or questions, we can take it. Let me see. Any comments or questions from anyone? Okay. Thank you all very much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale. Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin iti namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve. Gauravani Pracharine. Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Sarvam Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.